It's 9 o'clock. It's time for another episode of Coding Nightmares. I'm Airlock Software, aka Julian. Today, I'm going to be looking at 1BitGodot's path finding solution. In fact, I've already implemented it. So let's turn this music down. Let's get the live stream on the go. Let's roll up our sleeves. And let's have a look. Yeah. All right. Oh, it's hot. It is damn hot. So, a little catch up on where we are today. Let's have a look at the old chart. Looking for the red. Red's where we are. Enable characters to make background exit and arrival sounds. Partially complete. Add character verbs as per object pop-up menu. And enable characters to move. I got it crossed out. Partially complete. Because the stuff we're doing is looking pretty good. It's pretty in-depth. I'd like to say more in-depth, hopefully more in-depth than what actually I even wanted, which is great because that's what we're trying to achieve, some element of real-time depth. So hold on a sec here. I'm just going to turn my monitor volume down. There we go. Better. So I hope you've all had a fantastic afternoon. And if you're joining me now, we're going to be looking at moving our characters a bit more. So let's have a look here. So just like Blue Peter, if you've ever seen that, I couldn't sleep yesterday without having completed something. I was so frustrated with my code. It was an absolute mess. If you want a reminder, it was, I was, working my way through Dijkstra's Path Finding Algorithm. And I was making headway, but it was turning into a bit of an absolute mammoth of a script. So I'd written a script for get lowest distance. Actually, I'd converted that from a Java script that I found. And I know it exists, yeah. And I'd written this path finding. So you pass in a start location and your target location, and it would work it out. So it got pretty far. In fact, it was just on the verge of working. The only thing we had to do here was a little bug we were just sorting out between moving nodes from unsettled to settled. That means having ticked it off the list and moved on to the next one. Anyway, to get that far took me 3 days, or maybe 4. 3. So I'm just deleting it all now. Turn path route. Yeah, don't need that anymore. Because yesterday I implemented 1BitGodot's fabulous bit of code. Thank you, 1BitGodot. Let's have a look. So he created this script for pathfinding. It mapped pretty much exactly like one would expect, set exactly the same format as I was using. And it probably took about 5 minutes to implement it. It was super, super easy. Here's all I had to do. So I had to update the location to build a list of arrays upon exits. So build an exit array list for the location. So that steps through all the nodes that are part of the location, and it adds them all on as long as they're exits and not objects. Super easy. And so that was that. Very good. Thank you, 1bit. And here comes the exit. So we had to add, we just added this tiny little bit of code, which makes it so much easier to reference it. Get location. So now you can call an exit and reference the location node, because we're passing in a path node here, a node path target location where the exit takes you. So you can now just get exit.getLocation and voila. And that's
we love you, 1BitGodot. Come to Scotland, join us. Smiling face with open mouth and tightly closed eyes.
Hey, Whiskey Trails, how we doing? Hope you're having a good night. So the last step was throwing that script, this location map, which generates a location map, pre-generates, builds the map for you. Once that's built, that's it. It's super easy. If we look at our game script now, we can see we're gonna build a map of all our locations. We're gonna print out some routes. So we're gonna print out a route from balcony to R&D, study to elevator, living area to elevator R&D, and then we're gonna print out all the routes afterwards. So here we go. Oh yeah, and it's done already. So let's just pull this up a bit. So we can see here, to go to R&D from the balcony, you exit to the living area, exit into the lift. You then press the floor 2 button, and then you enter R&D. Oh my God, it's amazing. To go to the elevator living area from the study, where you just exit the living area. What's this? Exit living area 2. Oh right, yeah. So into the living area, and then into the elevator. Happy days. To go to the elevator R&D from the living area, you exit the lift. So let's just check this. Let's check it. So to go to the elevator R&D from the living area, go to the lift. So lift. Here we are. And then exit to floor 2. And there we are. Elevator R&D. Happy days. So you can see here, this is the complete map. And you can see it creates like a map for every location. It's pretty cool. So what do we need to do to get our characters now utilizing this route system? Because at the moment we've got location.print route from. Print route from. Here we go. So retrieve a single route by location names. This is what we want. Get route by name. And we're not currently using it. So let's just try this. So we'll try get route by name. Location 1, location 2. Okay, so get route by name. Comment these out. And let's see. So yeah, so that should be the only thing we do. That's not going to output anything because it returns an array, but that will. Let's run that and take a little look. Okay, so you can see it's giving us a list of nodes. In our case, I don't think we want a list of nodes. We actually want a list of names, but that's okay. Pretty damn good. So 1487. Let's just double check this. Remote. So starting off in the living area. Nope, starting off in the balcony. Nope. Okay, where is it? Balcony to R&D. So balcony is 1486. It's saying 1487. So the exit. Oh, so it's a list of exits. It's spitting out. Which is probably not exactly what we want, but it's close enough. So what else have we got here? Get root. Retrieve a single root by location nodes. Oh, so get root by name isn't actually working. That's interesting. It works here. Get root by name. Balcony R&D. Oh, exit.name. So basically all these nodes, you'd need to use the name for them. So that's okay. So let's just look at our character behavior then. And try and set some kind of dynamic character behavior working with our routing. So let's have a look now. We'll go for, stop this. Oh, it stopped. Let's open up the Graham script. Right, so now we've got this path to work. So let's say he actually works in R&D, right? So we can now go like this, R&D. It's sequential, speed 8, and he should now be able to get there himself. So we want any sort of sequential movement to use our pathfinder. All right. So that's 8 to 804. What's this? This will be working. So we'll have. Let's just create another. Let's just create another room here. So create a new location. Scenes. Location scene. Stick it there. Back up. There we go. So we'll call this, I don't know, I'll call this the toilet. Maybe I'll work in R&D for a bit and then go to the toilet. I'll call this the R&D toilet, to be sure. Okay, and now we're going to add another exit here into R&D. So this will be exit, enter, toilet. So our target location is text is enter the toilet, and target location is the toilet. So I'm done. Exit audio, we'll just add some footsteps again. Footsteps. And distance is super short, so we'll just make that a 1. Right, okay, so now we need to get back to R&D from there, so we'll just duplicate this. Oops. Can you do that when you're like that, right? There we go. Enter toilet 2. Belongs to R&D toilet. Takes us back into R&D. And leave the toilet. Super. There we are. Right, so now we've got a R&D toilet. We'll just test it, make sure we can get to that toilet. All right, so we go to the left. Up to floor 2. Into R&D. And, oh, we've got Jove and Graham here. My goodness. Haven't seen these guys about. Graham stares you in the eye. Poke him in the eye. Yes, anyway, and enter the toilet. Fabulous. R&D toilet, here we are. Interesting, for some reason R&D toilet doesn't have a title. I don't know what that is. Anyway, okay, great, so that exit works. In fact, I wonder why that is. Oh. R&D toilet location name. We'll just call it dirty toilets. It smells in here, we'll say. There we go. Now if we go in there, it's smelly, and we've got an extremely small reverb going on in there. No introduction audio, no background audio. Wouldn't it be nice if we could just set up a filter there for it as well? So if you're in R&D and then you go into the R&D toilet, we could have a filtered version of the R&D noise, so it sounds like the door's shut. I'll just add that as a sound, because this is all about doing fun things with sound. So location. We want to add a sort of filter effect for locations to hear trickle of previous location, i.e. in a busy club, and you enter the toilet, you can hear the club noises muffled through the door. So that'll be a nice little element. Okay, so let's go to let's get our scripts back up. So it's time to get our guys moving. So he's now going to go from the living area. His path to work is R&D. When he's at our work, he's going to frequent the R&D department, but then he's going to take prolonged R&D toilet breaks. We're not paying you to go to the toilet, Jove. That's what they'll be shouting at him. And he'll be going to the toilet every 120 seconds. Must have been something he ate. So when he goes home, I'm going to take him from R&D. The tricky thing is, right, what we need is we need a from location. We need like a current location, right? That would make more sense. So it's fine if he goes sequentially from the living area to R&D. We know he's going to be in R&D. But if he's moving randomly between these positions, then we need like some sort of current position. So we're going to have to sort of override this here. We're going to have to move him, or at least see where he is, and then move him to back to the living area. Oops, wrong one. So R&D toilet. Path to quarters is going to be current. And R&D. And just a big shout out to the other streamers on Twitch and YouTube, if you haven't seen them doing Godot. We've got a little list of them on our Twitch channel. Let me just show you guys. I want to just make sure everyone is aware of this. So we've got Phyton12. It says 2 p.m. GMT, but probably he's the most prevalent in terms of like doing a lot of coding every day. We've got 1BitGodot. He's pretty regular at 6 p.m. GMT, doing a tutorial series on a 3D adventure game. He's also doing a zombie survival type of game as well, which is really interesting. And there's me. If you've got anyone else you want to add to this list, let's build it up. Let me know, and I shall put them in there. We also have a new contributor. So let's see now. Our new contributor is Ender. I can never get this right. Hold on. Ender. I shall find it. I shall find it. Ender Rifter. Ender Rifter. So he's going to be doing some RPG elements. He's going to be bringing a little bit of combat to the game. So just there we go. Put that out a bit. There we go. Super. So back to it. So current. So we've got to check for a current position in our path finding. If we detect the word current in our path, then we've got to grab that and say, whoa, that is player.current location. So path to quarters and the sleeping, it's the living area sequential. So this is sequential, yes. This is random, this is sequential. Perfect. Okay, cool. So we've got two things we've got to look for here. We've got to look for sequential and random. There may be other things we want to do as well. And we need to set up movement for those types of behaviors. So we have got the character script here. I think it's here. So try move will try and move to a given location. So here we are passing in a target location. Now, if current is, if we passed in current here, we'd want to ignore it, wouldn't we? I'm just wondering where we're going to grab current first of all. I think I'll just do a little. It doesn't matter if they try and enter a location that doesn't exist, because it just won't go in. So that's fine. It does matter if we try and move the player to a given exit. This is irrespective of the player's location. So we only move if we can successfully find an exit to take them to that place. So that's fine as well. So check schedule. Check the character should load a new behavior script. That's fine. This is checking what to do next. So check behavior. Okay. So this is where we would see something like where to move next. Now, so this is going to need some substantial changes because now we actually have pathfinding. We don't necessarily need to use this technique anymore. So one thing I need to work out then is how we get this code working, because it's it's a little bit of chicken and egg here about what we load first. So let's see. So at the moment we're loading it in game. We don't want to use it in game. Game is not where we want to design our pathfinding around. So we're declaring a location map. We're prepping our location map. That's fine. So build the location map here by all means. We may need to do this every time we load up a new map. Build the map of this area. Cool. I'll put that as a debug. In fact, we've got a debug for this sort of thing. That's fine, I'll leave that off for now. Okay, so if we're actually declaring the map here, then it should be accessible via game.locationMap. So from within our character script now, we should have access to that. Nope. Game. Nope. Game isn't accessible, obviously. I noted 1bit always had a global script for grabbing game. He sticks it in here to say you can get it whenever you want. definitely need to think about rearranging my game at the moment, because it's not quite right. We probably want to put this sort of map in a node of maps. I wonder how that's going to break everything. Probably going to break a lot of things. But yeah, we need a sort of overarching node to store all our locations in. So we can say this is level 1, this is level 2, or dynamically load new locations up as we need them. Let's just change the background texture here. There we go. So, where to start? We'll just bash on and try and get this working. So, okay, let's add a global script for getting game, shall we? Yeah, let's do that. So global, as I've got one already. Func get game. There we go. And it's only just going to do. Wait, do I reference it at the top? It's just going to be. I don't even need to do all that. Oops. I think that's all it needs to be. Is returning a type. Oh, I've got to start doing this more often. Node, right? Wait, game is a node 2D. Shouldn't be. Oh no, maybe it should. I don't know. There we go. Oh. Just returns a node then. Okay. Right. So get game is our new handy little helper there. Close that. So we just need to put in g.getGame, and that should be it. How often are we going to use this? Potentially quite a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do an onReady var location map equals. We'll just move that over here. Where is it? Right. I think that should work. Okay. See if we get a printout. Nope. Okay. So the problem is here. Non-existent function. Oh, right. Okay. It's not loading a location map. I just do it like this then. I don't know if that's probably just get current scene, right? That's right. So get rid of that. Game with a capital G. No. This is what I was saying about there being a chicken and egg. I think it's the order in which things are getting loaded. So maybe it's better not to do this at this point at all. But this didn't work either, right? Oh, for goodness sake. That does work. Okay, super. So we can see the path getting returned here. So that's great. So it's just spitting out the path over and over again. So why isn't get route by name returning our route by name? Because at the moment it's just giving us a list of arrays. So if we step through those arrays, for node in that, and then print it out node.name in brackets, obviously, then we should now get the list of names instead. Okay, super. Okay. All right. So now we need to look at why, what sort of movement we're looking for, because we are no longer going to just move without using pathfinding. So this whole system here is about using non-pathfinding. So it checks how long it's been since it's moved. That's fine. Move the character along. So when we set the behavior here, when we set the schedule, we probably should be generating a path of nodes. So updating our path based on our pathfinding script. So we have a path, then he can linearly move along. So this will still work, but we've got to update this path here just by doing this. So let's move our pathfinding, and see the load behavior, set schedule. Do we have a load behavior? Check behavior, check schedule. Right, okay. So, at what point do we load the new behavior tree? I've got to remind myself of what index we're talking about here. Pretty sure it's this load schedule, which is part of our behavior script. The hell is behavior again? Is that Graham? Yeah. Okay, so we're loading up all of this, and we're stepping through this array, block by block. So that's our main index, right? It's not our path index, because our path index is stepping through path that we define. So when we set our path here and set schedule, that is when we've got to redefine this path based on where we want the guide to go. So we don't want to have to list out every location. So what we want here is if movement type equals sequential, then we're going to generate path for movement based on sequential route. Okay, and we also need our script. Where do we put it? Down here somewhere. Oh no, did I delete it? There it is. Okay, so we're going to get the location, and this is where also we've got to check for current as well. So we're going to have two paths here. If it's sequential, could be more though, couldn't it? We could have like complex routes. I don't think we need it though. I don't think we'll ever need really that complicated. Although we might want some kind of circular. I suppose that could be a different movement type. If only we implemented some sort of behavior tree here. Kind of that's what we're doing. Okay, so what we want to do is also check the first index in path. So check for current. Check if we need to update current player position. So we want some element of dynamic movement based on where the player, where the NPC is. So if path 0, like our first option in path, is equal to current, and we're going to do a, is it to lower? Make sure it's lowercase. If it's current, then we want to actually use player. So we want to update path 0 to player dot, and let me just work out what we do to get the current position again from our player. In the player script at the bottom, get current location node. Yeah, that's the actual string. So we do get current location node. So we replace the current position with wherever they are. So that means we can use current to move. That's uppercase, but it shouldn't matter. So we can always use current. So I'm just going to put a little note in here. Use current as NPC's current position as a starting node for paths. All right. So then, if the movement type is sequential, we're going to pass in the first position, which is path 0, second position, which is path 1, and if we're doing that, then we have to be specific here in that sequential paths can only have two locations, starting and ending. So use current as to represent an NPC's current position starting node for dynamic movement. All right. Okay, what if we've got an example of we're going to have a new movement type called static. Where they stay in one place. So speed's irrelevant. We can just set it to 1, I suppose. I'm only doing that because I'm just wondering if they stay there and then it ticks over to 7 o'clock and they're supposed to do something, but it's waiting 100 seconds before they do it. I wasn't sure if that would work. I don't think it does. I think it just immediately loads the schedule for the next thing to do. So anyway, right, okay, so sequential, random, and static types of movement. I could do a match here, but it's fine. So again, let's do a 2 lower here. Make sure whatever's input is always going to be the same. Okay. Just do a little defensive code here. If path.size is greater than 2, then we're going to push an error more than 2 locations for a sequential path for whoever the character is. What's the character? It'll be character where is it? Let's click on one of our characters. Oh, it's just name. Super. Okay. Generate path. So what we're doing here is we're overwriting path. So actually, so we did this here. We'd initialize path, do nothing. No, we can't do it there. We'll just set it up as temp path. Really don't need it in there. Okay, so save the. Wait, do we need to do it like that? No, we don't. Pass that in here. And then we're overwriting path, aren't we? That's not very good, is it? I think we definitely want to use temp path then. Here. So we're going to clear out path. Alright, so path.append. And we're going to add in node dot, what was it again? Name, it's right there. Right. So that should be a sequential path generation. What about if the it's static? No, we don't want to do anything. We might check. Might check to make sure it's a static path, and then we'll come on to random next. So let's see now. So this should, if we pause there, the path we get here should be the full path from living area to R&D. Static, sequential, random, sequential, static, super. Okay, here we go. Boom. So it stopped here. So path's been updated. Let's have a look at path. Array size 1. That didn't work. At least we got a word. And what was, let's just pause it here. Rerun it. Oh. That's fine. Because the first path isn't. There we go. So it's not going to load the next path until we hit 8 o'clock. Then it's going to load a sequential path. Boom. Okay, so let's see what we've got now. Path. So our NPC must now exit the lift. So you can see the NPC is here right now. So we can follow them around. So they're going to exit the lift, they're going to press floor 2, and they're going to exit into R&D. Now, I don't expect this to work very well because we haven't programmed it to use lifts yet. So it might be a bit weird, but here goes. Continue. And off we go. So, enter the lift. Wait for the AI. Come on, AI. Nope. AI isn't having any of it. Let's go back in here. AI is still here. Okay, so let's just check our path finding. Graham. Yeah, so he is supposed to walk from the living area to R&D. So for some reason, he ain't following the path. Okay, so why is that? Supposed to have 4 minutes of movement here. Okay, let's go back into our loading event. We are getting a lot of this. Why is it setting the schedule so many times? Let's just keep a track of index. It'd be great. I should really set up a nice debugger for all this, so we can see what our character's doing. I've got that on my list to do at some point. So, okay, so we're going to set a debug here. So as soon as we go in here, index should be 0. There it is, index 0. Okay, we'll continue. Index is still 0. Still 0. Okay, so it's not trying to set a new schedule until we hit 8:01. Boom. So index is now 1. So that means that we're now looking at the path to work. So it updates the start time. So the start time is now, let's see, where's our start time? Start time is now 8 o'clock. Fabulous, that's the time. Our path should be these 2 nodes. Step. So our path is 2 nodes, living area and R&D. So we've got to update this, right? So next. It's not current, so we'll skip that. It's a movement type sequential. Yes, it is. Okay. Is it greater than 2? No, it isn't. Now this should update our path. So it should create a temp path, right? Temp path. Yep. So we've got 3 arrays here, taking us to R&D. Lift floor 2, exit into R&D. So now we clear the path out. Let's go back up. Oh, I do love the debugger. So path gets cleared. There we go. Path size 0. Now we step through temp path, and we add. So where's path? Yep. So exit lift. Ah. Okay, it's adding the exits rather than the locations. So we need the. We don't want node.name. We want the location that they're trying to get into. I think we've added that to the exit script, right? Which is get location. Yep. So we can just call that. But it gets the node. Oh, that's fine. Yep. Okay. So. Where are we? Character. So we want get location, right? Which is going to get us the node, and then name, which is going to get us the name of the node. All right. Okay, let's try again. So now we can just rapido step through this, looking at path. Here we go. Boom, 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 boom. This is index 0, so that's fine. Just keep going. Take us to 8 o'clock. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is awful. I've got to get rid of that fanfare. So, okay, here we go. So, path, blah, blah, blah. Movement type sequential. Path is not greater than 2. Temp path, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's look at path now. So, path is empty. First run. What have we got in there? Aye, aye, aye. Yeah, elevator living area. Happy days. All right, cool. All right, AI is just gone into the living area. Let's go. Oh, he's going to the lift. There they are. Now, oh, and up they go. Right, so let's go and follow them. There he is. Now he's going to piss off into R&D. Oh my God, all of them did. They've all buggered off. There they all are. Fantastic. And they're going to stay there for, oh God, I forgot Jove and Graham were around. I'm going to have to send them somewhere else. Maybe I'll put them in the toilet. Oh no, Jove, Graham and the AI traversing work in the toilet. We need to start doing per character scripts, because at the moment, all the characters share the Graham script. We need scripts for everyone. That's great. So we now have sequential pathfinding, and we don't even need to tell them where, we can just say it's over here, and then get yourself onto the other side of a massive Doom map, and they'll work their way over there. So happy days. Whew, that's great. So with that done, we are now ready to work on a random movement type. So there we have a selection of locations, and we roll the dice, and we decide based on our randomness which location to go to next. We'll only keep that within those locations. So if we've got 3 locations, we'd remove the current location, leaving us with 2. Random roll to see which of those 2 locations to go to. Boom. And then same thing again. But this time, you're only going to be able to, if there's 3 locations in a row, you're only going to be able to go from this location back to your original one. But that's fine, because it's going to randomly roll, and maybe you won't be able to go that way. That's fine, he'll stay where he is, and we'll roll again, and eventually he'll move. So there'll be an element of, where he'll just stay where he is for a bit. In fact, we should have keep the current location as a random element, so they will move between those locations regardless. Yeah, nice. Okay, so question is, where are we going to do that? Because we're not going to do it here. We're going to do it as part of the try move. Interesting. So let's put a little note here in our movement. So add random movement. Roll dice and see which location the NPC will move to next out of set of locations. Oh, we could do pathfinding with that. We can pathfind between. Oh, that will work, right? So if we have a set of like a set of. Let's scrap this out. So if we have, for example, we have a set of locations A through E. Character, the NPC is at C. We roll a random, or we generate a random destination from our set, including our current location. We generate a path. Now that's interesting. Does that mean? Yeah, it means they can change their mind, right? Because they're randomly moving around. So they could decide, you know what, I'm going the other way. Or they could, it'll constantly be dynamic. So we generate a sequential path to the next location in which they take one move, then we regenerate the path again. Sounds easy enough, maybe. Cool. All right. Well, that is tomorrow's goal. Only doing an hour, sticking to my hour at the moment, trying to limit the lack of sleep. So let's commit. So what have we got? Addons.zip. No, we're not committing that.
Hey there. If you like coding, check out my channel. The Coding Nerd 123YT.
Hey man, cool. All right, that's awesome. Do you do any Godot coding, man? Should we check out the Coding Nerd's channel? Let's check it. Let's check out his coding channel. Hey! Here he is. Ooh. Dashlane's password manager. Oh, you're not recording your voice.
Not much.
Should get your voice on there. No comments either. Put the comments on, man. You've got to engage with these guys. How to use my website. Cool. Oh, wow. Very cool, man. Look at this. And what are you coding that in? What have you coded this in, Coding Nerd? Oh, it's a Google map. It's a Google site.
HTML.
Yeah, I get that. But what about your volume calculators and your classic calculators? What are you using? I'm going to go for a 10 edge, volume 1000. Fabulous. Oh, it even tells me how. Cool. Very
Yeah,
good. Man.
Google Sites.
Yeah, but what language are you programming your calculator in? So here, what have you coded this in? I'll give you 3 guesses. JavaScript, my friend. Some lovely, beautiful JavaScript. Very cool. Very good. I will give you a subscribe, man. There you go. I have subscribed to your channel.
The calculator is HTML. But the website was made on Google Sites.
Your calculator is HTML and JavaScript. So you can't do that stuff without JavaScript. I love a bit of JavaScript. Yeah, no worries. Very cool. So, so I am committing. So I've got a button. What did I do with my button here? I don't know why I've changed my button. I'm deleting that button scene. I'm going to delete button. Where is it? Button. Where are you, button? Wait a minute. Maybe I already deleted the button. Nope, there it is. In my root. Goodbye button. Project is updated. That's fine. Game scene's updated. Great. Character scene's updated. Yes. Graham's been updated. Correct. We've implemented pathfinding through these files. We've added a helper function to a global that we didn't use. I don't know whether we need it anymore. Might ditch it. Location map. Thank you, 1bit. And root node. All right. Let's update. So implemented 1BitGodot's Pathfinder and changes to scheduler. So last push the origin, and there we go. Happy days. Oh man, I honestly cannot wait.
Creating a dark theme Google search using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. I will make a video on that soon.
Ooh, I can't wait. That sounds good. That's well up my street. Yeah, definitely do that. Right. That's me. Come back soon, Coding Nerd, and tell us when that video is done. We will have a look on stream. And if you want us to give you some homework, then we will give you some homework. We'll give you some JavaScript challenges. Right. This is Coding and Audio Adventure, week 7, I think, day 42 or something. Thanks for tuning in.
Definitely.
Have a fantastic night.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, Coding Nerd. Like and subscribe. And I need to put on notifications on yours as well. I'll do that real quick. Where are you? Yeah. Always got to turn on the notifications. Press that bell. Where are you? Yeah. Won't let me. You're not allowed that. Oh well, never mind. Just let us know here when you're done. Right, guys. It's time to go. Have a great night. See you tomorrow, 9 p.m. Same time. Cheers.